Hello everybody, welcome to WhatCulture Gaming. I'm Scott, joined by Ash.
Hello!
Hello, Ash, my friend. There is word from Mr. Hideo Kojima himself doing a big old tweet as to whatever his next project is. Now, he did a couple of tweets talking about him working with Yoji Shinkawa, which is the lead art director over at Kojima Productions, and eagle-eyed fans have zoomed in on one of the images he put out, zoomed all the way in to what looks like a series of submarines, and the logo on the side of one of them is Bridges, which is the company from Death Stranding. He also did a follow-up tweet saying that, clarifying more stuff, more thought process stuff with Yoji Shinkawa. And then on the table where he's taking the photo, there's a little fetus baby thing on there as well, which is another iconic image from Death Stranding. So, what's your thoughts on them doing more of this ridiculous franchise?
I think, I didn't resonate with Death Stranding. I played a good chunk of it, and it didn't draw me in because there was a lot of mediated, slow drawn, do everything very slowly and take in the world kind of gameplay, and it wasn't what I was about when I was playing it. I think the world building and the stories there and the way that Hideo Kojima makes up an environment and feeds it to you very slowly, goes, oh, here's a crumb, what could it all mean? I think he's really good at that, and I'd like to see more of that, but I think that's just seeing more of Hideo Kojima's work than it is particularly Death Stranding. I think that the story seemed quite self-contained as well. He kind of had all the build-up that was given away, and stop and earth-shattering, life-ending event, whatever. I don't know. I have no idea. But
we should talk about where that thing goes, because we'll sort of touch on Death Stranding spoilers. Ash hasn't actually finished it, and I got through it and hated it, so we sort of lined up anyway, being what the hell's the point? I know Josh Brown and Ben Roy really liked it, so you can go over and watch. We did a spoiler podcast back when it first finished, but in terms of just talking about that game's general narrative approach, it kind of mirrors the game's sales, because it had this massive surge of popularity at the beginning. Loads of people bought it out of sheer curiosity. I think it was one of the only games that all of us played in the office. Everybody was playing it, and then the sales sort of mirrored the general interest in it. Everybody sort of tapered off, just being what the hell's going on? I barely understand it. And even as someone who finished it, the way that story is organized, I think that at the very end it just goes in a million different directions off the deep end and then keeps going. And so it's it's to bring it all back again. I guess it's a general thing. It's do you even want more from this series at all? Not necessarily on a story front, but did those initial sort of hooks just not kind of get you in anyway?
Well, this is the thing. This is kind of my roundabout point. Is that I think the world building and the stuff that is created in the game is incredible. I think it's really good, but I didn't enjoy playing it in the slightest. So if it had a massive gameplay overhaul and kind of focused on what could be entertaining in this world more than delivering parcels, then I'd like to see that maybe years in the future or something. I don't know. If it's all set underwater and you live in a little submarine and you're going around delivering packages on the seabed, then maybe that's new and exciting. But I think this was a really experimental title. The Death Stranding was so experimental. That's what it hit with some people and missed with some people. And I don't think you can repeat that experiment to the same success. I think people will go, oh, Death Stranding 2, because it was so...
They've kind of learned from that.
Point.
Yeah, they've sort of learned from that initial wave of sales. I think Hideo Kojima's name sells better sometimes than some of his concepts do. As much as I love the guy, and I love how freewheeling he is and how he doesn't seem to be edited or censored by literally anybody. Even one of his longtime writers, I forget the name of the guy, but he's been with him for 25 years or whatever, and he departed halfway through Death Stranding. So it was almost like someone else just being I don't even know what you're doing anymore. I'm going to leave, and you just sort of see this over the finish line.
I say that's a lot coming from you, Scott. You're Mr. Kojima's fanboy with all the Metal Gear stuff.
I tried, man. It was that was the game, and I forget which video we did. I think it was a chatty face about which game left you heartbroken or something like that. And it was towards the end of Death Stranding where there's so many stupid twists in that game. I'm sorry, but I thought it was so ridiculous, and it made me embarrassed that I ever cared. And I think it's one of the worst things. I've said that in another video, but I think it's one of the worst things any end of a movie, a book, or whatever can do is make you embarrassed that you ever cared in the first place. And so, I think that's reflected in a lot of the trophy data. Like I said, I think it's reflected in the sales, that a lot of people sort of bank on Kojima because of Metal Gear. But when he's completely free flowing or whatever, I hate, I don't know, go back and forward on the whole, does an artist need a critic or someone to rein them in a bit? But yeah, did you think that Death Stranding's kind of all over the place approach, it was goes to Kojima in a way.
I don't know. I think I like that Kojima does what he wants. I have big respect for Hideo Kojima and the worlds that he builds and how he builds them, and he has such a singular vision for them. When I don't like jazz with them, I'm very much feel like, oh, okay, I don't get it. I don't get what he's trying to say, and I feel fine with that. I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. The people who enjoy this absolutely get it and are having a great time with it, and I'm glad it's out there for this experimental, fun group of people who like want to deliver parcels.
Josh Brown.
Yeah, and dig into like all the different meanings, interpretations, and like how it plays out. And I think it's fantastic that that's there, and you can kind of have a surface level enjoyment, or you can go deep into the mind of Kojima and try and unspool all the different things that are there. But yeah, for me, I've completely lost my point because I'm just in Kojima land here. But
that's what he does.
Yeah, for me, I don't know if I'd want Death Stranding again. I think he has so many great ideas and ways of working that I'd like to see another experiment from him. I'd like to see him open up and do something new. Obviously, PT and Silent Hills is what we want to see, but we know it's not going to be that. And I think he said it's not going to be another Metal Gear game, his next project. So it could be.
Well, the thing
Death
is, like, he talked about how he really wants to do a horror game next, which is what led to all the rumors that he might be sort of stepping into the Silent Hill reboot, but then that again is also a rumor. And Death Stranding kind of has like some horror elements, like with, you know, the BTs and the invisible ghosts and everything. So it's like they could go more down that route. But one of the things that I think he would struggle to expand on, because like you said, Death Stranding is so like, it's such a one-off. It's such a, like, it felt like someone coming out of captivity with one idea that he's been trying to get past the Konami heads for like 20, 30 years. And then Sony's blank check just went straight into that. And that's great. That should be championed. Like, I still champion free artistic thought and creativity, all that stuff. But at the same time, like, where the hell does he go from here? Because Death Stranding has one message that we're all better together. It delivers it in the first 5 minutes and then just drags it out for 40 hours. So I don't know where you go with that either. But yeah, I guess as another sort of wide thing, like, yeah, what would it take to bring you back? Do you think it would just be more on the gameplay side, or maybe he shows that he's a bit more restrained, or he's had a bit more thought this time?
Oh, sorry, but my son's making me glow like a demon. I think for me, I like his ideas. I like the way he works. I like what he has to offer. It'd be genre specific for me. I would really like to see him do a horror game and kind of go on his Silent Hill PT route and kind of get all that going. That's what I would really, really like to see from him. I think whatever he does, I'm going to give a try, because I don't think anything that he's ever made has been bad, you know what I mean? It's never a bad game. It's just big ideas that are resonant.
You will see what he's going for.
Yeah. And I know you're like the biggest Metal Gear defender of all time and love it and live it. And I definitely do not have the breadth of experience with Metal Gear to comment on that. But I just have a lot of respect for him and the works that he's put out into the world and the joy people have got from it. So I would like a new franchise that I can get into and go, oh, here is my joy, and here is where I get on this same wavelength that is mad and crazy, and that his whole team comes together to do and make beautiful things. And I think this is why we look at this submarine and go, oh, it's got bridges on it. Yeah, it could be Death Stranding. And yeah, I personally would be disappointed, and I think others would too, because we've seen that experiment. But man loves an Easter egg, so it could literally be anything. It could just be a little submarine.
That was the thing I was going to say, is that like he's so aware of everything he's putting out, and the image itself, the one that includes the sketchbook that you can zoom in on, is so immaculately placed. Like he has like he said he's listening to Oasis by Kitaro. It's like some new album or something. He has that disc sort of like sitting in an open disc tray. There's a set of headphones scattered in the corner. Like, it's all very framed. And he knows everyone's going to like pour over this stuff. Like, one of the biggest sort of conversations around Death Stranding was, one of the most engaging parts of it was that build up. It was like, what the hell's it actually about? How much of PT is in there, and what's the real pull going to be, and whatever. Which, like I said before, like, I think that's why it only makes one point and then repeats it for 40 hours. Hence, that mystery wasn't that exciting to unravel. But it's sort of interesting where the hell a team like him even goes. But yeah, I guess like in terms of like genre and stuff, like do you think he should just do a spooky horror based thing and just capitalize on all the rumors at this point?
I just think so many people would enjoy it. So many people missed out with I missed out on the PT hype when that came around, like, because it got taken off the PlayStation. Well, I mean, it got taken off the PlayStation store before I even got near it for a sniff.
I've still got one.
It just like that completely passed me by, and I've read so much about Silent Hills and seen so much about it, and like, the game that was meant to be and all this sort of thing. And I think that's his calling card, but I think that's what's going to keep people interested until the end of time, until he makes that game, like until he delivers the horror goods. Loads of people are going to be strung along thinking this could be the one. Maybe there'll be a little treat that references that back in this title. I don't know. I think I would really like a horror game from him. I'm more than happy for him to do more conceptual stuff again, but less than 50 hours would be my preference, because at least then you could enjoy it for the most part. But you know what? Do what you want. Like Hideo Kojima, do what you want. You're always going to offer up something interesting and engaging for a group of people that makes them talk, and the conversation is the important part a lot of the time, because there's so much out there for people to enjoy. If you don't like it, talk about it, find something else you do, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think more Death Stranding. Again, we've seen it, we've got the message, we've like...
You got it out.
It's a great world, I think, because there's this whole like unique beach like thing in there where it's like everyone has their own connected place that they go, and there's this really cool world that's post-apocalyptic and everything. Having something set in the same universe that isn't about delivering parcels, I'd be very for, because again, it's been built up
Didn't
so
like
well.
those parcels. Wasn't
and it's creepy, like with the babies going, oh gosh, there's scary ghosts around, all that sort of thing. I'm not describing Death Stranding very well. Oh, scary baby ghosts.
That's pretty much it for the like I said. That's pretty much it in the first 5 minutes and after 40 hours. Very divisive game, but very creatively fulfilling for him. You can tell he was getting a lot out of his system. But yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Is there anywhere that you'd like to see Death Stranding go, or should it stay as a one-off and he should just take the open goal that is a Hideo Kojima horror game? For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com.
And I have been Ash.
We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.